Nancy with Nancy's Nibbles of Life, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, welcome. My name is Nancy, and I'm on the WW Personal Points program, and I love bringing you videos centered around WW. Sometimes I'll do a fun grocery haul, or sometimes a what I eat in a day. Today I have something really fun for you. It is low point foods that have helped me lose weight on the WW program. I wanted to share some of my favorites with you. Some true and blue foods that have really helped me keep my days low when I want to eat something on the lower point side so that I can have a bigger dinner, or just kind of a consistent lunch or breakfast that have worked for me over the years. So before we get started, if you like the video, don't forget to give me a like and leave me a comment. It really helps the video get out there. And you know, we want to grow in 2022, so your likes and your comments, it really does help me out. Okay, you ready to get into it? Let's go! So I've done WW a time or two. And you know, your weight can ebb and flow. Some years that you do the plan, you have really mastered it. The foods that you're eating are working for you and you're able to maintain. Some years, not so much. You may have a little gain, and then you discover something new that works for you, and then again, you're on a roll. So I've found some foods that I love that are new finds and some finds that have been around for a while that are really low in points, and they just kind of keep me on track. So let's start with some sliced turkey. You know, sandwiches for lunch and wraps for lunch are such a great idea. And when 0 point foods came around and you could get your turkey for 0 points, that was even better for me, because of course I was already eating it. So turkey is great because you could get it in so many varieties from the grocery store. And even if it's not on your 0 points food list, it's really low in points. But I love the mesquite smoked turkey. I love honey roasted turkey. I love oven roasted turkey. I even love the Cajun style turkey, the boar's head Cajun flavored turkey that you could find in the grocery store in the deli section. So, you know, mix it up a little bit. Ground turkey and even, I'm sorry, not ground, but sliced turkey and even sliced chicken in the grocery store for your sandwiches. All good low point options if you like those things. So, you know, again, for sandwiches and wraps, you just can't beat it. And sometimes you just, you know, you want a little snack and roll up a couple of pieces of turkey and there you go. So turkey is one of my favorites that kind of keeps me on track for lunch. If you're gonna have a turkey sandwich, sometimes you want a little cheese on your sandwich. Velveeta is a great option. You know, these slices are 1 point and sometimes 2. It depends on the cheese that you get, but such a low point option for your sandwiches and your wraps. You know, Velveeta is a classic cheese. It's that kind of yellow American cheese, you know, but at 1 or 2 points to add to your sandwiches, you can't beat it. So, you know, I remember when Velveeta used to be less expensive than it is in the grocery stores now. So, you know, it's a little bit more, but for the price factor, you just can't beat it. I used to love the Kraft's fat-free sliced American cheese. I can't find that anymore. It was 0 points, if you can imagine. And I can't find it anywhere, the Kraft fat-free. So Kraft, if you're listening, please bring back that sliced cheese. But Velveeta works just as well. It's a velvety, smooth cheese for your sandwiches and wraps. And you know, for your grilled cheese as well. So if you want to mix it up sometimes and have a warm sandwich, the Velveeta works great for melting and having a warm, low point sandwich for lunch. So Velveeta has always worked for me. Speaking of sandwiches and wraps, this is relatively a new find in the last, you know, few years that I've been doing WW, and I love these, and everybody I'm sure knows about them, but it's the Olé wraps. You know, these things are really awesome. 1 point high fiber wraps for your sandwiches. You can do so many things with them. You know, you could wrap your turkey and cheese up with them. And you can also make tacos with these things. You could make burritos. For 1 point, it's a good size wrap. The fiber count is so high. You know, it's 11 grams of fiber in one wrap. So it keeps you fuller longer. You know, it's really great. Only 50 calories a wrap. They are just so great. It says 100% whole wheat and flaxseed. And, you know, keto friendly. So I know some of us sometimes will add a little keto to our diets every now and again. You know, sometimes you go in and out with WW. You can do that. Just decide to go, you know, low carb for a while. But it's a low carb option. And one of the great things about this Olay brand is not only the low point factor, but they have flavored ones as well. They have a spinach wrap that's really good, and a tomato and basil one that's also really good. So at 1 point, you know, you just can't beat it. And again, it is so flexible. Tons of variety, tons of things you could do with these wraps. So, you know, they have really helped me out on my journey in WW. So if you're not having those, you should. So I love that there are so many low carb options in the grocery store these days. And so another thing that has really kind of helped me out in my journey on WW are these street size taco shells. This is a keto brand. One of these are 0 points. One is 0. It's the La Banderita. They are awesome. I'm gonna open up the packet and show you what it looks like. They are, you know, the small size, but it's like a flour tortilla. And, you know, these are so great for lunch because you could fill them with anything. You know, some of that chicken breast that you have for 0 points, if you have a 0 point food, if lean chicken or lean turkey is on your 0 point foods, you can have really low chicken tacos for lunch or dinner. Add you something like a good black bean and you have a taco dinner that is just low in points and incredible and very tasty because you can make your own salsa. Salsa is 0 points. These keto style street size taco shells are incredible because another versatile thing that you can do so many things with. Mini quesadillas, you know, wrap you some Velveeta and a couple of these and have a couple of mini quesadillas and cut up some avocado, make you a guacamole. Another great lunch thing that you could do. So I love this brand, the La Banderita, but also there are quite a few on the market that you could find. Mr. Tortilla is a brand that I really love, and so you could find those as well. But the keto street size taco shells, really good. Okay, another great snack that has helped me in my WW journey are string cheese. I love these. You know, you could find them for 1 point or 2 point. You know, depends on the brand that you find. But you know, the protein in a cheese stick, it really keeps you full longer, you know. There are, let's see, and this is the Trader Joe's brand. And the protein is 8 grams. That's pretty good, you know. And so if you have this in the evenings, you could wrap this as well in some of that turkey or even deli ham, which is also a low point option that I love. This is a great high protein, low point snack that can tide you over from dinner. You know, when I started WW, my worst time of the day for snacking was between dinner and leaving work. So I would leave work, I would race to get home, and I would be so hungry that I would just kind of grab anything. And it's when the chips and stuff would really get me in trouble. So the leader that I was with at the time said, why don't you put some cheese sticks in the fridge at work and grab one on your way home, and that'll tide you over. And that trick really worked, you know. So a high protein snack that will tide you over in between meals, because that's the key, right? You're not gonna lose weight if you're eating bad foods all day. So find snacks, or high point foods, I should say. find snacks that you can have in between your meals or when you're most vulnerable to snacking, and have them, and they will help you. So, cheese sticks, that's a good one for me. I love those. All right, let's move on. So wraps and sandwiches are great for lunch, but come on, we have to have some chips, right? So I love these individual wrapped Funyuns. They are only 3 points a bag. Who doesn't love Funyuns and who doesn't love chips? And so I find these pretty regularly at my Kroger. I also find them on Amazon, 3 points. And it's a great crunchy little chip that you can have that's, the perfect amount because it's an individual bag. So it's self-contained. I love it when I can find one of my favorite snacks in a individual size because I can kind of control myself. I'm like, okay, you had a bag, that's enough. So anytime I could find one like that, it's great. And these come in 10 per bag. Like at Kroger, you could find them in the variety chip section. Of course, those variety chips are good also. The little lunch bag size, those are good as well. But some of those can go as high as 4 or 5 points. And so, if you are like me, a potato chip junkie, and you might not be able to control yourself, these are a great option because, again, it's a good size and only 3 points. It will fit that little craving you have for potato chips. So I just love Funyuns. And again, I love anything that's individually wrapped because it really does help you kind of control the quantity and the amount that you're eating. Okay, when I first started WW some years ago, I was drinking soda, regular soda, if you can imagine. It was mind-boggling how many points regular soda was. I just couldn't believe it, And so I had to quickly figure out something. And I think that switching from regular soda to other drinks was really, really one of the key things that probably initially helped me drop a little weight. I'll show you a picture here of what I looked like before WW. And like I said, sometimes I'm more successful on the plans at others, but I won't go back to where I was because I know a lot of these tips and tricks now. So I had to stop drinking the regular soda, and of course they encourage you to drink water, but sometimes you need something that tastes kind of like a soda. So I love these sparkling ice drinks. Anything that I call it bubble water, right? So any kind of drink that's carbonated but 0 calories, and these are so yummy. This pineapple one, I really am in love with it, but they're all over the market these days. So some of the carbonated water has like a hint of a flavoring, right? Those are okay. But if you're used to drinking soda, you want something that has more of an in-depth kind of fruity flavor or cola flavor or whatever it is that you're used to drinking. And these are it for me, these sparkling ice. And they're really good economy-wise too. I think $1. And you could find them a lot of times at the Dollar Tree. So, carbonated water is your friend, especially if you're a soda junkie. Because a lot of people love their Cokes and their Pepsis. And, it's hard to break that habit. But all of that sugar, you got to find something that will work as a substitute, which is kind of the key to WW, finding foods that substitute some of your favorites. And so this ice, I love it. Kind of takes the place of soda for me. Okay, so I mentioned to you that some of my finds are relatively new. Boathouse dressings are kind of new to my journey, but I love them. Who doesn't love ranch dressing? It's one of America's favorites, right? And so Boathouse makes a really good classic ranch, yogurt, and dipping sauce. 45 calories, 1 or 2 points for this Boathouse. It's really great. They also have a cucumber and ranch that I really like, and also a Southwestern and a cilantro. They are really good. Boathouse is really kind of doing well in this market in terms of dressings and dips. So if you've not tried the Boathouse brands for your salads and your wraps, sometimes instead of a mayo, I'll add this to my wraps, because it's just so good, you know. So consider the Boathouse brand. They do a really, really good job. Speaking of mayo, you know, I love a good mayonnaise, but mayonnaise doesn't love me. You know, it's a really high in fat kind of condiment. But, you know, I used to really love Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip is 1 point for a tablespoon, and I love that. But for some reason, my taste buds have changed over the years, and Miracle Whip is a little too sweet for me. So the Best Foods light mayonnaise, I love this stuff. It's thick. It has more of that real mayo taste to it. It's 1 point. You know, you can't beat light mayo. So I use this, of course, on my salads and wraps, and you can use it for the base of many recipes that require something like a cream base. Mayo is good. It's just oil and eggs, you know, so you can get a little creative with it. But I love the Best Foods brand. So one of the last items that I have here that has really helped me is a honey mustard. So sometimes you want something different. The Frenchies honey mustard, 0 points. You know, you just can't beat something like that. It's 10 calories a serving, 0 points. And not only do I put this in my wraps and my sandwiches, but I love chicken fingers. And so this is my honey mustard dipping sauce. So if you see the Frenchies honey mustard made with real honey, you got to pick that up. It's such a great mustard. I love it. And it's, again, kind of versatile. You could use it for your sandwiches and your wraps, but also a great dip. All right, lastly, I have been loving this low carb bread. So it's the Kroger brand, and it's the Carb Master wheat bread. And this is 1 point a slice. Lots of low carb breads out there, of course, and at 1 point. But I love this bread because it's a wheat bread and it's very hearty. It's so good. They even have a multi-seed one that's also 1 point, the Carb Master bread over at Kroger. And that one is really great because it's nice and hearty and you could actually taste the seeds. But the wheat bread is really great, 1 point. If you have a Kroger next to you, you might want to pick this up. I find that I like this taste and this texture better than some of the others on the market that I find. And because it's the Kroger brand, the price is right, you know? So if you are having bread regularly, consider the low carb bread from Kroger. Just the store brand, Carb Master. You can't beat that. So, you know, I do different things all the time to kind of help me on my WW journey. All through my videos, you find great things. Let me share one last thing with you that I love that helps me out. Don't mind my messy fridge. But it's fat-free half and half. I use this for my coffee in the mornings as my creamer. You know, some of the flavored creamers, I love them. They're really good, but they're high in points. And so, you know, this is a creamy milk for my coffee. It's half and half, so you know it's creamy, and it's 1 point for up to 3 tablespoons. So think about this. If you like having a couple of cups of coffee in the morning, 3 tablespoons, 1 point. You can't beat that. And you're just not going to find that with a lot of those creamers that are on the market, especially those flavored creamers. So I love the fat-free half and half. Well, I think that is it. Those, again, are just some top foods that have helped me stay on track on my WW journey. I hope that you enjoyed that. If you did, don't forget to give me that like and leave me a comment with maybe some of your favorites that have kept you on track. I hope that was helpful for you. Okay, guess what, guys? That leads me to adios, and I'll see you on the next video. Okay, take care. Bye.